Welcome to Submerge Life. We have just finished part 1 of our series, Under and Over.
Over and under.
Over and under.
Just bear in mind, me and Tony have been sharing a couple of beers, and Tony's very happy right now.
We don't need to put that on Submerge Life. I am submerging life right now.
Like, literally, he's submerged.
No, I get confused with the words. Okay, so it's
Over, under.
Over, under. And we did part 1 on Unfiltered Podcast. Go look for it, Unfiltered Podcast. There's going to be a link in the bio of wherever you are watching this. I'm going to set the link. Go watch that before you watch this one. And then come back over here and watch this part 2.
Amen,
which
brother.
is the
Under
words and phrases we underuse. But before we get into that, I want to hear about who you are, because I'm sure the people that are watching want to know who you are. And if you have come over from his page, you need to know who he is still.
Yeah. Well,
it
no,
probably
man.
changed.
My name is Jose Cruz. I have my own production business, content creating, Kairos Media Productions. About a year ago, I helped a friend of mine start Unfiltered Podcast, and then he asked me to join after 3 podcasts that he asked me to be a part of. And so June, I joined the Unfiltered Podcast team, and then getting into Unfiltered Podcasts late December, January this year, he signed it all over to me, Unfiltered, and, and elevated it, took it to the next level. And so I'm the sole owner of Unfiltered Podcast. But Nemo, shout out to my boy Nehemiah, the godfather of the podcast. Man, we basically just started living this unfiltered life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's this will actually probably tie into our topic of used phrases or underused, really anything, man, is that who I am on camera, on my social media, who I am in person, and when no one's looking, is I'm that same person. And it's very as unfiltered as it gets. I'm not disrespectful, but when I can be,
sometimes you are. No, I'm just kidding.
But when I need to be, I can be, because there's a line that I've learned to draw, or not draw, but there's a line that I've learned to put in front of me.
That's your truth.
Yeah. I'm not even trying to say that. But if you guys just saw that, that's my truth, But there's a line I draw, man, and if people cross it intentionally and disrespectfully, I respond accordingly.
Right.
I do unto others that do unto me, and whether it's good or bad, I'm finna do it. And that's how I choose to live, it unfiltered, and I'll say what I would need to say, whether it's my truth or not. It's just the truth, and I choose to live unfiltered and on camera, or especially when no one's looking. And married 16 years, May 14th. I keep saying the 16th, but May 14th, 16 years. We have 3 kids, me and my wife, Laura. 3 kids, have a soon to be 16-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 12-year-old. Yeah. 2 girls and a boy. And, have my own business. I left my job at Channel 26 and other little jobs, but yeah, man, that's kind of everything in a nutshell.
Cool.
Nothing special.
Yeah, well, I do want to have you back on, because I do, if you've watched Submerge Life, if you're new, let me give you a little brief. I want to go into the journey of people. I want to hear their stories, and I want to hear your journey into this. Everything from when you came out of that womb until that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
not everything,
bro.
But I want to hear your journey, the struggles, and why. Why are you doing this? What motivates you to keep doing this, and why you even started?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
we don't need to talk about it right now, but I want you back on the show so that we can spend an hour to talk about
I
that.
could definitely, man.
That journey, we kind of gloss over it, and we'll give a 15-minute version. No, I want an hour version. If I could have 6 hours of it and people would watch, cool. I already have the 6-hour version personally, but I want to share more. I want to share the highlights and expand on that to the audience at a future date. If you want to hear some of it, though, we do have. I came on your show a couple months ago, and we talked a little bit about some of the journey, how we met, and
well, you were a big you and a bunch of other guys that I grew up with were a huge factor in my life, and where I'm at today is because of that. And because I think that when you have certain people, certain men in your life, you know, I can't take credit for it, man, because I'm at where I'm at because of guys like you, Philip, Famous, Eddie, Pastor Jerry, Chris Escobedo, all these heavy hitters that are in my life that are still, I mean, other than Eddie, because I talked to Eddie in a minute. I talked to Famous. But, yeah, man, it's because of guys like that and you, man, that I'm at where I'm at because of you guys. And that's not going unnoticed in my life. I don't take credit from where I'm at because of me. It's only because of God put guys like you in my life, man, growing up when I needed it. And so,
and it wasn't always happy-go-lucky. If you haven't watched the other episode, we talked about how you destroyed my back windshield of my car because...
Hey, man, I was trying to tap my girl every night. That was it. The girlfriend at that time, I was trying to tap, and
we weren't having it.
You and Mondo were hating on me, man, because I was backsliding.
You didn't like that, so...
I was backsliding, and I was horny. Look at my wife is right there. But this is pre... But I'm serious. That's the truth. Isn't that the truth?
She's like, he still is horny.
No, but isn't that the truth, though? It's the truth.
Yeah, that is.
You know, and so, I mean, there were probably nights where I hear you breathing heavy by the door. I don't know why, but...
Because I needed to use the restroom.
Yeah,
and in order to get to the restroom,
room I was
had to go through your door.
Yeah, the room I
like,
was in, the only...
Awake?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Is he asleep yet?
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. But again,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Low key,
Maybe once.
And that's why, because again, I know we're shooting this in my studio, man. That's how unfiltered I want. Because it's truth, man.
Yeah.
That happened. You know, and I'm not gonna lie about what things that. And that's the hard thing about a lot of people can admit is that no, I was doing that while it was. Well, I wasn't even in church, man. You guys we're roommates, and I feel like that's why I chose to live unfiltered and talk about the real issues and a lot. And then this is coming from Christians. This is coming from people that we know that were like this, that are still like this in churches, and that's another podcast.
So if you guys want to hear some real raw stories, go to Unfiltered Podcast exclusively on YouTube. But now let's get into the topic at hand. Words and phrases that we underuse. You want me to go first? I might as well go first because...
Go ahead, because you have the list. I don't. I want to go off. I want to go off you.
You can jump off whenever you want. Here's my first one. My first one, which actually was in the overused words episode. And it's I love you. And I touched on it inside that episode a little bit on why that is on why it was on the over, but also overused. But now here, why is it underused words? Why is that part of my phrasing on that? And I think because we've diluted the meaning of it because we see it so much in social media. We say it so much to our friends, but do we really hold true to that word? I love to those words. I love you. Would we drop everything just to go meet up with your boy, with your friend, and help him? No. Would you intentionally go and text somebody and just see how they're doing, and not just text them when they want something, when you want something?
Like because we know a few people that have done that, in our past. I do feel like that word or I love you phrase is underused only because a lot of people don't know the meaning of really what love can be. Either they were given a certain type of love from friends or family, mainly family, and then it became a thing where they took it for granted. And they don't understand the fact that, you know what, I know this is actually a thing. This is actually real. And so when someone says, I love you, they mean it, right. And to actually know the whole Greek word or the meaning behind love, I don't know. But I feel like the reality is biblically and all that, because I ain't trying to be all Christianese, but the Bible says no greater love than this, and a man will lay down his life for a friend. So when I think of love is an action. And I feel like that's where love stops as that, just a word or a phrase. And so as far as it being underused, I feel like it is underused in the sense of action.
Right.
And it's only left at mere words. And so I feel like when you don't know that love, how do you show that? Oh, my God, I'm reaching.
How do you show it? Yeah, how do you show it?
You don't know it.
Calm down,
as I drink my beer.
Because I see it so used so much in social media into celebrities.
I'm not going to lie. That really hit me right now. If you don't know it, you don't know how to show it.
That's going to be a quote on one of my posts.
Come on.
But we'll use it to people we don't even know. It's like, how do you really love that celebrity? How do you know?
Yeah.
You see, you know what you see on a tweet or what you see in an interview, but you don't know that person.
Well,
and if you do, if you do say you love them, what are you gonna do? What does that mean? But you can't go and support your brother or your sister that's trying to do a podcast. You can't repost something. Tell me you tell me that you love me. Oh, shut up.
You don't love me. You love my doggy style.
Oh,
hey, I'm quoting Snoop. But well, here's the thing: when
Unfiltered.
when you think of like celebrities and all that, man, there are a lot of celebrities that I have love for, but I don't know them. And I told my wife, if I were to ever cheat on her, leave her, it would have to be with like Catherine Winnick, the star of Vikings, Brittany Palmer. I'm talking like heavy hitters. But why am I going to leave my gorgeous wife for some simple little person here that's just an average person? But again, everyone thinks that's love, and it's not. And so when you think of these celebrities, you love what they bring, their platform, right?
I think we just used the wrong word, right?
Yeah,
we shouldn't be using "I love you." We should probably be using like "I respect you,"
or "I look up to him,"
or "I look up to you," or like in this one particular area. Cool.
Yeah. Well, another person I'll probably leave my wife for is like Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. I really do.
I can respect that.
I'll drink his bathwater. But
I'm sorry for those normal listeners of Submerge Life. Well, this is part of Submerging into Life, and
sorry, not sorry. But low key, but seriously, when people say that, I feel like it's underused and it's overused for certain things like that. When you think you know that love, you don't. And I know, all joking aside, man, I got no filter. I live unfiltered, but the reality is it's unused only because that's where it's left at. It's just words, and it's just the same because what? It's a hashtag. And anybody can use a hashtag. Oh my gosh, dude. When you are more than just a hashtag, you're living it. You don't have to hashtag nothing, bro. Oh my God. Why didn't I say this on my other podcast on my own? Don't go stealing it, Tony.
I'm already getting it, bro.
No, go ahead,
I'm already getting it, baby. All right. So here is another one, which coincidentally is a hashtag that I turned it into.
Yeah, go ahead.
The word yes.
Yes, like in general.
Yeah,
yes?
I don't think we use the word yes because we can sometimes be a little too selfish, so we always say no.
Amen,
we
brother.
live in fear, so we say no. I had a fear consistently in starting this podcast.
We talked
So
about
I
that.
didn't say yes. So I turned it into, not specifically because of the podcast, but to Submerging into Life. I turned it into a hashtag mission to yes. So if you look at some of my early like fundraisers, whatever, I'll have that hashtag. And that's because it did take a mission for me to say yes, to go on 2 mission trips or to go live outside my comfort zone, which this is one of them. So I think we don't say yes enough. And we do it for selfish reasons. We do it for fear reasons. We do it for comfortability. So I think we underuse that word.
Yeah.
Just say yes. But now don't get that confused with people pleasing. Completely different.
Come on.
All right. Because there is that people pleasing where we always say yes.
Yeah.
But
like yes to that booty call, yes to that crack.
Lord,
Yes
help
to
you.
Yeah. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
But hashtag mission to yes.
Well, I feel like when you say that, because I'm not gonna lie, when it's hard to say yes to certain things because, like you said, it's fear. Especially when I started my business. I was supposed to start my business not 4 years ago, but 10 years ago. And someone spoke into my life, and it reminds me of that stupid, corny, damn Christian song. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes.
That's actually one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I hate, dude. I I'm not surprised.
Hashtag not kidding.
Yeah, but the thing is though, you hear that so much, man, and when you don't step out on your, oh my gosh, I already know where I'm going with this, man. When you
Are you gonna cry?
No, I'm about to bring the Shondo-ness, bro.
Do it.
When you don't step out on your yes, you're only left with the why. Oh my God, dude. You're only left with the whys, man, and you're left with the no and the regret. Right? Because it took me just over 10 years to really focus on my yes.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know, because the wifey was like, let's do it. Mm-hmm. She was all about that yes, but me, I was all about the what ifs. Dude, you have no idea where I'm at, man.
Yeah.
And I'm on a different level right now. But your yes is underused only because you're so worried about the what ifs. And and I feel like that's a huge issue, and the problem is because you're not supposed to know the answers now. But if you go faith believing, you only go based on, all right, yes, Lord, I'll do this, or yes, me, I'll do this. And I got to trust that process. And a lot of people are scared of the work because they don't want to say yes.
Right. It's yes in where you're at that moment. Right. It's yes where you were at that moment. I couldn't start Submerge Life, I think, with doing the web page and all the things that I've done within a matter of week 5 years ago. But I could start living life and preparing myself to where I am today and probably even be better at it. Had I started really 5 years ago, which is talking to people, hearing their stories and going after and just saying yes, which is, I did in a sense. I've been to a number of countries and doing mission.
You have, dude. I'm actually your social media. Thailand. I was happy for you, man.
That was huge for me.
Really
and
happy.
I even got to the point where when I came back from Cambodia last year, even though it was just 2 weeks, I was actually willing to be like, okay, God. If you want to send me to a third world country again, it's going to be a whole lot easier to say yes now. I'm ready. Like,
now, let me ask you
take
this.
it from me.
Like, side note, did you go on to those Cambodian massage
parlors? Shut up. No, stop it. It was a mission trip.
Low-key, I would have probably snuck away and said yes to that.
Brother, they were
look at her. She's all mad. Okay, man, I'm playing. Look at you.
The mission trip was specifically against human trafficking. So, no.
All right, well,
get out of here.
I stand corrected. Go ahead, man. I played too much.
And coming back, it's like, okay, now I'm willing to really say yes. Like, what do you want from me? I held on to, before I went, I was holding on to a lot of physical items and things that, that desire of wanting to have things. And slowly within that year leading up to it, it was like, okay, I got to let that go. No, okay, God, what do you want from me? You want me to go on? Cool. My third one? Great. Let's go. I'm going to be working with people in human trafficking.
How much is that really? Because that's where my fear is. I'd say no to because I'm afraid of the expanse. I'm afraid of flying. I can't see myself being in a tube for 20 odd hours. I don't know because I've never been in it. So I'm only assuming. So that's why I say no.
Right. Because it's that fear.
I am afraid.
One, it's only 16 hours and it's kind of split up. Two, people do it all the time. So I'm
not claustrophobic, but I feel like that's maybe because I'm a type of guy. If I need fresh air, I'm gonna go out and get fresh air. But if I'm put in a position where you can't
take a fan,
really,
if you need fresh air. No,
because it's a fart box. It's a hot box.
Yeah, but you're gonna have all those things that people have already dealt with before, and they survived.
Now, what about cost effective? Is it cost effective? Is it something to go to?
I don't know. I raised the money, so I was able to raise the money and do it.
Well, how much did you raise for you good?
Well, the first year I went to Israel, and that was over 4K, and I was able to raise that. And then the next trip was Thailand, and that was a little over 3K. And by then,
now was it comfortable? Was it easy? You didn't need anything else, or
there were some stressful moments, but even inside that, you got to get out of your comfort zone and say yes. You got to actually
say yes to that.
You got to write a letter and be like, "Hey, this is where I'm going, and if you want to donate, cool." And let me tell you, some people surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I was able to, because I wrote that letter and I asked, like, I had $100 checks coming to me so I can go and do this on the mission trips. Yeah, you never know until you start going and diving into it. Man.
That's a big.
You never know.
This is a good yes topic,
and that's part of
underused.
That's part of Submerged Life on why I started it, because I want to help people like be able to say yes. You want some if you're gonna go on a mission trip, you want some ideas on how to raise some money. I'll give you a list of ideas on how to raise money. Things that worked for me and things that didn't work for me. Will they work for you? Maybe not, but come back to me and I'll help you reorganize that. And then if you look at some of my shows, I'm trying to help people, nonprofits, and people raise money. Be like,
I have an NPO. Can you help me?
I'll do whatever you want, man.
All right.
We'll talk after the show.
That's right. That's what's up.
But we have all of these fears that stop us from saying yes. And we put so much value in things. Like I thought I would have more things than I do now. I had to get rid of, there was one time, it's going to sound horrible.
Speak it.
But because it was just so selfish in my thinking. But a buddy of mine, like, he needed shoes. I couldn't afford to go buy shoes, but the only shoes that fit him were the shoes were my favorite shoes. Like I had 10 pairs of shoes, but there was really only like one that could fit him. And they were my favorite. And I'm like, I don't want to give those away. I don't want to.
So you didn't say yes to that?
Oh, no, I said yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was one of my best friends, so I felt like I had to. And that was part of that that changing of me and getting rid of things. And now it's like, okay, it's easier to go into a store because I don't need to say yes to that or that or that. Where 10 years ago, I wanted to say yes to all of that.
Yeah.
I want, whatever. And now I'm okay with wearing a black shirt every single day as long as it's a clean shirt.
Yeah.
But if I wear 7 black shirts in 7 days in a row, I'm okay.
That's how I was, dude, until recently. Again, I stopped blaming him and I thanked him, but my wife probably doesn't. But I was a black T-shirt, simple shorts, summer, and just black T-shirt. I have in my closet right now like 20 black T-shirts, 20, and I would wear that every day. That's one thing I don't have to think about. I tried to do a whole Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. That's one thing I don't have to worry about. But now I go into a store. I've been buying shoes. I have like 30 pairs of shoes now. I have a bunch of clothes that I've really focused on, like trying to up my floss, and just only because it's like, you know what, I can do that. I can have fun. Yeah. But I'm at a point,
which is fine. Like, I don't care.
But at the end of the day, because that's not who I am. That's not what I identify myself with. But I do want to just have fun, man. But I feel like my problem is when I need to stop saying no to is because I have a thing where I tell my wife, babe, I need this gear because it's gonna be. Look what we're doing now. Like for instance, we got camera 2, 3, 1. Tony right there. Go to 2. So everything was an investment to step up. Right. And she understands. So she was like, yeah, go ahead. So and I feel like when people overdo it, that's the issue, and it becomes an obsession. It becomes a problem. And that's not where I'm at, and I'm happy. Because I know there's guys that I know right now that's all they want to do is identify as if I look a certain way or wear a certain brand, then that's my identity. And that's not who I am. And like you said, when you
put our identity in, that's where the problem is. We're putting our identity into that, which is what I was doing. Like, there's nothing problem with having different colored shirts. But at that point, like, I'm putting my identity inside all these things that I desire and want, like, really want.
Well, I got into collecting, like, a lot of comics, Marvel, DC, because of you. I remember, like, you had everything, man. And I was like, Tony has this. I want this, And so... but like to hear your story and like, yes, you said yes to the mission trip, then you realize you don't need none of that after facing that third world country. And it's like,
because that became more important, right? There's nothing wrong in having that.
Yeah.
But if I couldn't go and sell those books so that I can go into this mission trip and say yes to this mission, then that might be there might be a little something wrong. Like I was willing to let that stuff go, and I still am. And I have, like, I bought a couple books because I wanted to read them, but other than that, I have nothing. I got rid of it all. I'm like, cool, I don't need that.
Are you a minimalist for the most part?
Yeah, I am. I can't say I'm a complete minimalist, but I do have to move in a couple months or whenever this is going. I don't know. Maybe I've already moved, and
we're in the future right now.
I'm kind of lazy, so it's like I'd rather only have a little bit of stuff, but. We had a fire.
I remember.
Yeah, we had a fire this past September, Labor Day, Memorial Day. I don't remember what it was. September 9th or whatever. And so the fire was going through where I was living at, and we didn't have an evacuation notice, but on that day we got the advisory evacuation notice, and I could see the growth in me when my car wasn't really packed up. I had my computer and I had a duffel bag.
Wow.
That's all I needed. I didn't care about the rest of the stuff that I had in the house. Whatever. A couple of days later, then I was like, oh, shoot, I got some old videos I might not want to lose from like higher calling days. Oh, I got some work stuff that I might not want to lose. But other than those two things, that's where the real growth is. Like, no, I just need my computer so I can work, and I need a change of clothes for like 2 days, 3 days. Could the fire come sweep my house? Yeah, but all that can be replaced.
Come on.
Whatever. The most important thing was helping my roommate and helping his dog and getting some of the valuable stuff that he has, because he had a lot more valuable things, and serving him, and then making sure that he's good mentally, because he's an officer and he had to kind of work the area, and so he didn't have the time to really go back and forth or the mental capacity to do it. And so it was like, okay, I like that stuff that I don't need that. Kind of like my favorite shoes. Give them to my buddy. In the end, it's more about that person than it is about my favorite shoes, because I can go buy those shoes again if I had the money, which at that time I don't think I did. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Because the next year I'm going to have a new favorite shoe.
Yeah. And that was you saying yes.
Which is these. They have no laces. Like, these are my new favorite shoes.
Easy slip-ons. You know, I feel like that's you saying yes to the fact that, you know, I'm good to saying really no. And, you know, a lot of people underuse, you know, say yes to the reality of, yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah.
You know, and I have, you know, because with our place here, our house, we just got all the equipment, our studio, we had to finally say, yeah, all right, you need insurance for your house. You're sitting on $60,000, $70,000 worth of gear, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got, and that's where common sense in. And I feel
there's
like
going to be some cost to it.
Yeah. And so, and I feel like when you learn to say yes to certain things on discipline, self-discipline, and understanding and common sense, man, you know, which is so underused is common sense, which I feel like is another phrase or a word or something.
That's underused.
Underused is
same thing with
sense.
no. I think yes and no. Common sense could all be used in the correct context, and being willing to just let go and
let God.
Go watch episode number 1 to find out why he said that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's your plug.
Yeah.
But
right here in the card above.
But yeah, no. Yeah. You got to say yes. You got to say no, and submerge into life and not let that fear control you.
Yeah, I've lived in fear, man. And I feel like that's what was hard for me to start my business when I know I should have started it 10 years ago when someone told us we needed to. And I didn't say yes to it. I was in fear. So no, you're right, man. Good.
And it's okay. You might fail. Like, I jumped into this Submerge Life. I mean, I did the podcast with Tina, and
shout out T,
which is amazing. I love her. And that's why I wanted to, and I mean that, not, I've known her for like 20 years. And so we have a lot of history, and like, that's going to be the one, because she can pull that out of me. But
Slay
I didn't
Queen.
have the complete picture of Submerge Life until I did that, until after we recorded that on IGTV. And then it was like, okay, all right, God, you've given me all these ideas through the years. It's time for me to just say yes. And now you're giving me more. I got to keep saying yes, keep saying yes. You didn't prepare me to hear for me to say no, which is why I'm trying to keep doing what I love. And I call it my passion project. This is my passion project. Will I fail? I don't know. Who cares? I'm having a good time in doing it. My buddy just told me, he's like, you sound different than you have in the last couple of months. I'm like, yeah. When you talk about that and you talk about, you know, everything in that, like, you sound different. I'm like, yeah, because I think I finally found it. And I said,
Come on.
And not be afraid of I'm a partner person. Like I always wanted somebody there. And it's like, well,
you
like
feed off energy too. You feed off the give and take, man. And that's kind of where my buddy was when he started this Unfiltered podcast. And when he asked me to be involved, we were like, hey, man, shoot these one-on-ones. I was like, one-on-ones? You mean just me by myself? So my first few one-on-ones with the host were awkward, and I don't have that energy. And I was really open. I actually talked about my first one-on-one was talking about anxiety, because the anxiety I felt talking about certain things in front of a camera about myself, and I don't have someone I feed off. And a lot of people are dependent on
We're waiting until we get to this big, beautiful butterfly. And instead, let's start at that freaking worm, and it's okay.
Yeah. That little maggot.
Yeah, that little maggot. It's okay to start there. Just start saying yes. And if you don't feel like you're ready for this, okay, cool. Say yes to the next step. To the next step.
That reminds me of that movie with Jim Carrey, Yes Man.
Yeah, yes, man.
But no.
But you just keep going little by little, inch by inch. I don't have all of this yet. Yeah. You didn't have all this 5 years ago.
Nope.
And it was step.
I didn't have this 4 months ago. This has only been in recent months that I started really saying yes to growth, yes to the investment, because I was afraid, because I didn't know, am I going to have money? My bank account going to look a little soft and light. Yeah. But I was like, no, you need to, because there's another level that you need to say yes to. And only way you'll know is if you go do. And when you say that way, man, that's the best yes you'll ever remember. And dude, that's where I'm at right now. I'm living my best yes. Oh my God, man, I'm reaching. My Cash App will be in the description below if I want to take an offering. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I'm going to be clipping all this. I'm going to be like, I'm copywriting that one and that one and that one.
Kairos MP, Cash at me.
Okay. I only have 2 more words. If you come up with one, let me know. But I only have 2 more. But I think we've gotten pretty long. The next one is moist. I don't think that's used enough.
Moist?
I'm kidding. That was my joke word. Moist. We don't use that enough.
Hey, I have no problem making it. I clap them cheeks.
All right, what did I unleash? Wow. Okay. I was only kidding because people hate that word. I just threw that one in there for fun.
Moist is kind of kinky though.
Okay, whatever. Moving on. It wasn't real. It was just a joke.
Let go. Let God.
All right, let go of that word. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Another phrase that is widely underused is "I don't know."
Yeah.
We think we know everything.
That's a good one.
Pastors think they know everything.
And the hell with them pastors, bastards.
And I bring that too because that's been most of my life is
that's our
the
experience.
Church and ministry and all that. But it goes beyond that. It goes to everyday people. It goes to bosses. It goes to whoever,
the
teachers
Joe,
or
man.
Whatever, governmental officials. They can't say I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, I feel like that's the problem if you want to use a government issue with COVID. It's like, no, I don't know. But everyone wanted to come out. A lot of these officials wanted to come out like they did know and to make a big decision to shut down everything. Based on a I don't know, or based on like they don't want to admit that they don't know, and we wouldn't blame them. Excuse me, but the reality is, it's like I would have liked to hear I don't know them forcibly tell us, hey, well, how in the hell are you gonna quarantine the healthy?
Yeah,
you quarantine the sick, but I don't, no, you have to. That don't make sense. I would rather say, I don't know, but be safe. You use your own discretion on where you feel like you need to be or how long out. I'd rather have heard I don't know from our elected officials than them make a rash decision to shut everything down, And so, again, you're right. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know, because.
But in our pride, we think that there is something wrong with that, especially if we're in a position of leadership or pastorship or like just in simple and just trying to comfort somebody. We want to feel like we got to give them the answers. And sometimes we just got to say, I don't know. Don't make up the answer. Just say, I don't know. I don't know. Show some empathy and just say, I don't know. But I'm going to sit here. And I talked about this in your episode. Like, man, just sit there and just say, I don't know, and just be with me if I'm going through some stuff.
Yeah,
Don't
I feel like
pretend that you know.
Yeah. I feel like that's the whole part, like the love action is underused, you know, and when you know you don't know, and that's all right. And I feel like to kind of carry into that, a lot of people don't know is that when they don't use the word or phrase the right way of being really authentic, you know, and that's when people know you're fake, and when you know you're not really authentic. And I feel like that's kind of where I've been, man. And I was ashamed a lot of my faith, a lot of who I was, especially when it came into my business, and I wasn't authentic, man. So I would get hammered, I'd get crap faced and everything, man. And to be this person, I wasn't, and I wasn't authentic, and I didn't like that person, man. And and I knew it, you know. And so when people don't use or live that underused word or phrase or life, is true authenticity, man, is when you know you're not living. And if you're not authentic, man, you're fake. That's it, period.
And then we use some of those words like what you had talked about earlier. Oh, just pray about it. Let God and let go.
Yeah.
Which in reality, you're saying, I don't know. Just do this. And hopefully you won't bug me for a month.
It's that status quo answer, so you won't have to deal with the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like underused, you know, is that. And I mean, that's true, man. I mean, that's good. Because I've been there. I was that guy that didn't use it or let go, let God, all that crap. And I'll pray for you, brother, you know. But I realized, man, when it happened to me, it was a different story. And then you realized, no one deserves to feel this way.
It's different when we begin to go through it. I mean, I've experienced that where it's like, oh, now I know what you're feeling, what you felt like. And I wasn't there to understand.
It hits different when it's at your front door.
And I wasn't there to show grace, mercy, and say, I don't know.
Chisel.
And just love the person, love the
Bro,
people.
Yeah. That's deep.
Yeah.
We talking about submerging right now?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Those are my words, man. Do you have anything that you want to add to this? That we don't use enough?
I think we talked about it, man. I feel like it's not so much using enough, it's living.
Living enough. Yeah.
You know, and that's really what it is living it out. You know, using it, I feel like, we don't use it enough. But when it actually becomes a characteristic and it becomes a personality and it becomes a part of who you are, is when it speaks for itself, man. Guys, at the bottom of the description below, my Cash App would be there if you guys want to send me an offering. But when you live it more, and I feel like that is the whole issue with churches, that these pastors and their pastors' kids, you know, I'm talking people that I know. I mean, you know what we church, and people watching know what church I'm talking about. You know, it's like they don't live it. It's just like, hey, I'm going with the motion. I'm getting my tithe, and I'm this and that, and they get burned by churches like, oh, they don't call me. They never found out how it was because they weren't living it. They weren't living that life of really love and empathy, and you know, they
weren't submerging. Life. They were submerging into their little circle.
Really their own selfish world.
I don't want people to get confused that Submerge Life means that you're going and you're traveling the world and showing your travel picture. No, it just means doing life.
To me, that's
not
nothing.
Scrolling, not streaming, but living life. Like calling somebody and saying, brother, how you doing? And not calling somebody and saying, hey, I need you to work on this every single time.
Yeah. And
I just want to see how you doing, man.
And I have an inner circle of that. And I was talking to my wife the other night, and like I said, I was talking to this one guy, young guy, man, full of ego, PK and all that. But I had told him straight out, I was like, I don't like you. I don't know why, but I do not like you. When this guy finally told me his problem on why he one of the issues he dealt with only confirmed why I didn't like him. And I asked my wife, why am I like this? Why are why am I this way? She says, you're this way because God built you this way for this reason, for this time. And we don't have authenticity. We don't have people living that real reality, man, because we live in this world based off social media. We live in this world that our life is a hashtag, our life is a trend, our life is a viral moment. When all that's said, done, take it away, and you're left with the reality, you're left with really you're nothing. And that's what I told this guy. You think you've been through something, you think you have an experience, you think you're up here, but in reality, you're down here, and you haven't accomplished nothing in the life, and you're entitled. But yet you want to come at me like, oh, I'm the dirt bag. Don't, you're telling my buddy don't hang out with me. No, he going to pick me because he knows I'm real. A lot of people live in this reality that's not real.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the whole underused word. Another word I feel like is the real reality, because everyone's making reality not real. And so when you're not living that way, dude, that's when you start overusing things. Oh my God, dude.
So yeah, go watch the first episode if you haven't. If this is your first time here, go to submergelife.com. There's a couple of things that are up there where you can purchase and help support some people.
What you mean, people? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
What else have you been doing, man? Okay, so we've done our show, but I want to hear a little bit about the beer that you guys launched.
Yeah.
What about this clothing company? Is this the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that book have a meaning? What is that book for?
Well, this meaning only confirms why I don't like Stephen Furtick, Michael Todd, T.D. Jakes.
Okay.
There's a guy I follow on Instagram called Preacher Sneakers, and he had made this post making fun of Mac Brock rocking these $900 Yeezys, and it was a joke, but it went viral. So he used that to start calling out these pastors on why they buy all this expensive stuff, which was along the vein I am. Because you know me, I'm all about calling people out. So he doesn't do it disrespectfully like I would or intentional, but he's more respectable about it.
Okay.
But that's just, I got in 2 chapters into it, but that's pretty much my heart is that. This hat, 1981, my buddy got that for my birthday, Plan in Progress, shout out Mondo Gonzalez. Has his own clothing brand. He makes just really good quality, meaningful, nostalgia type of, streetwear, man. But
nice.
Other than that, there's, like my business has been doing well.
Which is called?
Kairos Media Productions.
Good. What exactly do you do?
I'm just a content creator, man. Local businesses. I take photos of, make video content promotions for local businesses, brands, companies, corpos, doctors, a lot of corporations, man. And, and it's something that I've always loved to do, man. I didn't know I really had this passion until I was put in a position where I was on probation at Cornerstone Church, man, and they put me on a camera because their camera guy didn't show up, and George Bustos got me into it.
Shout out to Mr. Bustos.
Shout out Bustos, and he's the one that got me in at Channel 26 back in the day. And but no, man, I've been just working and doing my thing, man, trying to really live a life that's worthy, man, for my kids to follow. I know I play around a lot, talking about cheating on my wife with celebrities, and dude, that's the side of me that I play. I like to put people in uncomfortable positions. Like, dude, relax. It's okay. Relax. This is not who I am. Yeah, I said the F word my last podcast or our part 1 of this, but that's not who I am. I don't live that way. That's not my everyday convo. I want to see where people are really at, and if they're really so uptight, why? Why is that? Why is your booty hole so tight? Loosen that sphincter and relax. Right?
Yeah.
Because I can tell right now Tony is very much so uncomfortable.
I'm going to change the rating on this, podcast.
But the thing is, though, it's not meant for kids. But the reality is I feel like that's kind of where I've been, man. And I've lived this lie for other people that I thought I should be. And now that I'm doing my business, now that I got into Unfiltered Podcast from my boy Nemo, it really opened up shed a light on really where my issues were. And the things I was overusing and the things that was underused in my life has really been put into full display on really what the issue is. And it's me, and so like we talked about before our podcast, we were talking about really the issues of like, we weren't brought into this world to talk about situations like this, you know? So, and I feel like talking to you about all this have really only just confirms and really just puts me in a position of like, dude, yeah, you're still on track. Keep doing what you're doing. You're not going to be perfect. You don't need a title. You don't need to be a pastor or a PK. You know, you don't need to have the last name Franklin or Reyna or all these other guys or Zavalas. You know, look at you. He's scared right now. You don't need to have a title of that name to reach people and be real and authentic. You know, because at the end of the day, man, they're just men. They all take dumps just like us. I know you'll bleep all this out, but, you know, I don't care. And I'm submerging myself into the reality of that's the truth. And I chose to live this lifestyle. Am I perfect? No. But I recognize that I'm not. I'm good with that. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Well, I'm not perfect. But, okay, guys, no. I actually know I have problems. And you know what? Who doesn't? And I'm okay to recognize it so I can connect with the average person watching. And they can actually feel it through their screen, their phone, and like, no, this dude's just like me. Yeah. I can grow like him. That's where that's where I've been. That's what I've been up to, man. It's really personal growth, personal development, man. And yeah, and I have a foundation. Started a foundation a year ago, and it's growing slowly. It's growing slow. But I'm in a position where I want to dot every freaking I and cross every T to not miss any step, because this is where I know where this foundation is going to go. No one's doing right now. And I want to keep it that way. You know, so you become high in demand, you become more popular, you make more money. I'm down to make money. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And really that's the goal, but the reality is I need impact. Right. Impact is real, and I want people to know that it's possible and you can attain it. And so for me to do that, I have to live it. I have to experience it. I have to submerge into it. Yeah. Because people will know it's not when you know you haven't been through it. People know when you've gone through the fire because they can smell it. Yeah. I want to go through the fire, and that's where my life has been. You know, and so yeah, I got deep right now.
You sure did. Like, I need another drink. No.
Hallelujah. Again, at the bottom of the description, my Cash App, if you guys want to donate, offering.
Go listen to part 1 if you haven't. Go listen to all of the archive. Go watch the video exclusively on YouTube at the recording of this podcast. It may expand. I don't know. We'll see what the numbers are and see what people want to.
I don't care about numbers. They just keep putting out content.
No, I'm talking about the dollars. That kind of a number. I know you care about that number.
In my pocket.
If Spotify want to pay you $100K to be exclusive to them,
like Joe Rogan, bro,
you'll be okay. You'll be okay with that number.
That's what I'm trying. Low key, I would pick Joe Rogan over Brittany Palmer, Catherine Winnick, any day, man. Joe Rogan is my man crush, hands down. I wouldn't mind being the.
Thank you guys for joining us. That is the end of this episode. SubmergeLife.com. Go to the Unfiltered Podcast on YouTube exclusively. And we will see you next time.
Peace.